Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP. Yeah, change your future, starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today.
Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and a host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You try to lift the coffin lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening that coffin. You just think you're going to die. But then you think, maybe if I bang on the lid, I'll unsettle the dirt that's upon the lid, and maybe somebody will start shoveling their way down to help you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you don't know where to turn, but you know you also can't do it on your own. In reality, there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, that's right, you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that while you were taking those drugs and the alcohol and abusing the alcohol and appropriately using that medicine cabinet as your own drug dealer, taking those prescription pills and just popping them, did it ever cross your mind that maybe you'll take something away that the Lord gave you, and that's called life? You'll take your life not just away from you, but from the people that count on you and love you most. For an example, people like your children, your grandchildren, your mother, your father, your husband, your wife. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be the person that I'm reading about on these index cards that went to their grave not seeking help, that waited and waited and waited and it was too late then. Instead, be the person that reaches out to people like myself or thousands of other people like me, addiction recovery coaches, life coaches, that reach out and say, listen, I need help. Call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I will help you. You can text me if you don't want to verbally talk to me. If you want to get a feel of who I am, text me at 631-599-0218. But remember, you can reach out to people like me and thousands of other addiction recovery coach and life coaches, but without your higher power, your recovery plan is already doomed. What does that mean? That means you need your higher power to guide and direct you. Carrie Underwood said it best. Jesus, take the wheel. You need somebody to take the wheel of your life. Us addiction recovery coaches are here, us life coaches are here as a crutch to help and guide and direct you through the process of sobriety and recovery. But the Lord Jesus Christ is the person that will guide and direct you throughout life. God will go and plant Himself in your heart so you start living a better life. And you'll see the results, I promise you that. 844-405-HELP is my phone number, and I promise you I'll help you take your life back. Folks, Larry Geis from the Geis Academy does the same thing I do. He has 30 years experience, 516-458-2741, www.odysseyconsultant.org. For whatever I just said about me applies to him. Give him a call, 516-458-2741. www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis and I always tell people like you, it doesn't matter where you've been, it doesn't matter where you came from. What matters most is that you're here and you're seeking help. But I remind you again, you have Larry Geis and myself, you have you, which is in the middle, and then you have God. All of us need to come together like this to make a whole out of you. So what you want to do, you, is reach to God. Say, God, I need you. And then what you want to do, you, is go and talk to people like Larry and myself, addiction recovery coaches. We will set the path for you for recovering sobriety. God sets the path for you for life. And you just meet us in the middle, and together we become whole. That's all you need to do. The power of prayer is the most powerful thing more powerful than any nation in the world. 844-405-HELP. Today's Sunday. I believe a day of Sabbath. Growing up in Germany and in Northport, New York, Sunday was a sacred day. It was a family day. It was a day that people would come together to have a good time. It was a day of prayer. It was a day of church. Today, if I fast forward from the 70s to today, it's another day at the mall. It's another day at Home Depot. It's another day doing anything, just about, than originally planned for a Sabbath day. What does it mean practically to keep the Sabbath holy? What does it mean practically to keep it holy? I think it is a matter of personal conscience, although I would almost want you to lean towards what the Bible says. And by and large, it probably should be a matter of personal conscience, like anything else. It doesn't mean that it has no meaning and no biblical guidelines. The big question for a Sabbath is whether or not the New Testament there is a commandment to keep the Sabbath day holy in the same way it was commanded in the Old Testament. It was a capital offense in the Old Testament. You could be killed for carrying sticks on Sabbath day. I'm going to ignore the issue right now of Sunday versus Saturday and just assume that there is no question at all. The Christian Sabbath is Sunday, period. The Lord's Day, the resurrection day of Jesus, and I agree with that 100%. I think those who do the seventh-day things are misunderstanding that the Lord's Day, the day Jesus rose from the dead, is the day that the early church marked the holy day of the week. Now, the question becomes, what is God's will for Resurrection Day, for Sunday, as it is revealed in the New Testament? And Romans 14 is significant for me because it appears in Romans 14 that it was a disagreement in church. One celebrates one day, one counts all days alike. It doesn't say explicitly that what was a Sabbath issue. It could have been some other kind of holiday issue, but it does say one sets aside one day for the Lord and one considers all days alike. An Old Testament scholar said it doesn't say that one person views all days alike circular, but maybe all days alike holy. And I said, right, I suspect that's what it means. In other words, every day holy to the Lord for some people in Romans 14, and others said, yes, but it is one and special. So it appears that there was a disagreement, and Paul's way of handling the disagreement was not to decide with either one of them. That's what is so significant that he said, one man keeps it to the Lord, another free to the Lord. Let both honor the Lord. Now that's very significant because I think people that give no thought to the Lord's Day and do anything to make special are probably not making those decisions to the Lord. By and large, they seem careless, not thoughtful about what they're doing, and they default to professional sports and TV and movies. They totally default to, listen to these words, they default to special events, sports, and TV. And you look at it and say, is it different from any Saturday? Is there anything special about this? And there are a lot of Christians who say, no, there is nothing special about this. Now, I think the principle in the New Testament is that God ordains the one day in 7 to be restful. I think that's a creation ordinance for our good, for our health. And so one of the things we should do, and the things on the Lord's Day that refresh us for His service intellectually, physically, and spiritually. So if you sit at your desk all week, probably you should walk or ride a bike on Sundays. And if you work on the farm, breaking your back all week, which is what they did in the Old Testament, then sit down and take a long nap on Sundays. The rest, peace, I think is psychological and from a creation order standpoint wise. I use the word wisdom rather than mandating any particular one way of doing it. Just take one day in 7 and set it aside for the day when you are physically recharging. We get a whole weekend off, so we tend to think, how does this relate to Saturday? Whereas the Bible says, 6 days shall You labor and do all your work, and the seventh day is your rest. So the Bible doesn't have a 5-day work week in mind. It has a 6-day work week in mind. I pray at the beginning of the day, Lord, whatever happens today may it be energizing for the next day. May it be energizing for the week that's coming. Give me the strength, give me the energy. Now the holy peace is just that one is being focused on the question. The holy peace, I think, would be worship. Whether it is Saturday night leading in or a Sunday morning, set aside a day with significant focus and on corporate worshiping. I think that implicit in the way the New Testament talks about gathering of God's people. So it's holy in the sense that it is set aside for corporate worship. Secondly, I think you want to try to restrain certain secular involvements in such way that you say something special about the day. It's different from any other days because Christ is Lord and risen in the way that I want to speak about a unique way today. But I really don't want to lay down rules for what would be. I could just give you some applications that we developed from our family. We didn't do professional sports on Sunday. None of my family members went to ball games on Sunday. What we all did is we went to church. We spent the day together as a family, maybe playing cards, or maybe even walking in the woods. But it was a family day of rest. There was no stores involved. There were no sports involved. And I didn't draw the line that I couldn't go to somebody's house and watch it on television either. I remember my parents made sure that Sundays were set aside just for the day of Sabbath. People might say, well, that's weird. What kind of crazy line drawing is that? But I'm sure people have their reasons. And I will tell you that the families that have boys that absolutely want to watch sports, they have their reasons too, that maybe they make exceptions on Sundays to allow them. And it is some sort of part of the whole swirl of non-God activity that really has gone astray and had made, whether Saturday or Sunday is your Sabbath day, had made one day set aside totally almost gone. We definitely never went to the movies on Sunday. 99% of the movies are totally godless and circular, even if they're not evil. They just don't have anything to do with God, and that's why we avoided them, especially on Sundays. And I don't think I've ever been to a movie on a Sunday in my life until maybe in the last 15 years. And I don't ever intend to try to go to too many of them down the road because, you know, as I spoke about recently, is that I am a sheep and God is my shepherd. And there are times where I forget, where I stray. And going to a movie on a Sunday is certainly not a sin. Certainly it's against my beliefs, but there are times where I forget, especially if the grandchildren are involved. And you know, we only have so much time with them. So, yeah, I'll go to the movies on a Sunday. It's not something I do often, and it's not something that I plan. It's just part of who I am to be. I was raised that Sundays was a family day, a church day, a prayer day. I wish we'd go back to the 70s and have all stores closed. Now, people say, why do we have stores open on a Sunday in the first place? It's all about the money. But people have to understand that money means nothing compared to your happiness and compared to your relationship with God. We just want very much to say that you need to rest, absolutely rest one day a week, and you need to find a way to say to the Lord, I love you, and I reverence you, and I'll honor you in a special way on that particular day. What day should that be? In the Bible, it does say 6-day work week. It doesn't mention 5-day work week, which most of us have now. So a lot of you folks work on Saturdays, so make it Sunday. Again, being brought up, probably like you, Sunday was that day, the Sabbath day. Now, for folks that work on Sunday and are off Saturday, make Saturday your Sabbath day. But take one of the 2 days and commit it to a day of rest. Commit it to honor thy God. The Sabbath day really has gone astray. And we need to keep the Sabbath day to be a holy day. A holy day. Today is Sunday. You'll be seeing this video this afternoon. What are you doing today? Now, if you just turned me on and are watching me, what did you do prior to this video? Did you go shopping? Did you go to the movies? Then my next follow-up question is what did you do yesterday? Now, if you answer both those, that I went shopping, I went to the movies, I went to work, I did all sorts of other stuff, and if you answer for both the days, then where is your Sabbath day? Now, some of you might say, okay, I went to church this morning and I relaxed all day. Well, congratulations, because you are keeping the Sabbath day holy. Set aside one day a week. One day a week, give it to the Lord, and you'll see fruit blossoming from that. I hope to God, no matter where you are, that you all practice the one day a week Sabbath day. And I hope to God, wherever you are, that you all become very knowledgeable on what the Bible really says about the Sabbath day. It is, go right to Romans 14. It explains it. Romans 14 explains it. Folks, today is Sunday. As you can say, it's a little overcast, but it's still a beautiful day. And remember, at night, put your slippers under the bed. That way in the morning, you need to drop to your knees to retrieve them and thank God for another beautiful day. And that doesn't just happen on the Sabbath day. This, my friend, should happen each and every morning. Make the morning your time of personal prayer, your relationship with God. And what best way to remember than by retrieving your slippers that the night before you pushed under your bed. Let it happen, and let it happen today. And I'd like for you to listen to this next segment coming right after I sign off now, and read the words to it about the slippers. And have a great day, and may God bless you.
Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right.
Yeah, change your future, it starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today. today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Yeah.